Hey guys, I'm here today with a short mail opening and then also a market watch, and we're going to go over some buyouts that have been happening as well as just other cards to take a look at that we haven't looked at in a while, and some that we have. But with that aside, I decided to go ahead and call the contest today. Seems like we're not getting new comments on the giveaway videos. And tomorrow I'm going to be busy. I'm not going to be able to do an announcement tomorrow, but the winner is Thatch. I left you a message underneath one of your comments on the giveaway video, and all you need to do is send me an email with your mailing address, and the email address is right there in the under your comment, if you were wondering. But if you have trouble finding it, just leave a comment anywhere, and I'll figure it out. But thanks for everybody participating. Definitely went up quite a bit of subscribers recently. We're now at 109, which is crazy because we're going up about 2 or 3, almost, maybe sometimes even 5, like at almost every video I put out. So I really appreciate everybody participating and giving me a follow and watching my content that I put out. It definitely means a lot, and definitely motivates me to put out more stuff. So keep it up, guys. I really appreciate it. But with that aside, I will go ahead and kind of show you a couple of cards I got in the mail that I think are pretty cool. And then we'll do the market watch. It's not many cards, so it won't take long. I'll fix this camera just slightly. Kind of screwed this camera up. I need to change the angle, but it's going to work for our purposes for now. Sorry, it's a little wacky looking. But I got 2 cards. I finally got the Infinite and Permanent Secret Rare First Edition in the mail. That being said, it was supposed to come light play, and my general notes on the card are there's no really edge wear, but what there is there's a little bit of a bend in the top part of the card, which to me, like any kind of structural damage, is definitely gonna take it less than light play. It's not too bad, so I don't consider it like damaged. But I'm gonna see if I can show you. It's right here. What you don't realize is that is actually a fold in the card. And maybe if I show it like this, you can kind of see it. Not really. Like a little bit. If you can see, there's a bend in the card, and I tried to bend it out, but you can't really. I mean, it's just, if you can see it well, which I don't think you're going to be able to in this video. There in the glare, you can see it. There's like a clear indent into the card, and when I got it, the front was kind of kind of protruding off the card, and it still is. Let's see if I can show that too. Do you see that? It's right in the dead center right there. It's like bubbled up, and there's kind of, if you can see it really well in person, there is like a actual crease. So I messaged the seller and said, hey, ordered this as light play, and I'm pretty happy with the card all around, except for this, unfortunate bend in the card, which could have been from mailing, could be from anything. That might not necessarily be his fault, but I said, let me know what you want to do. I said I'd be happy to keep the card, but in my opinion, I wouldn't want to pay more than moderately played, just because if I want to sell this card in the future, I obviously would not feel comfortable selling it as light play. So he did give me I think an 18% discount, which is really fair, considering that the card has gone up since I bought it. I guess it's been in the mail forever. That's not his fault either. It's been bouncing between different post offices in Georgia for some reason, and I guess it was the mail's fault. But it is, I think when I bought it, it was $55 for the first edition light play. And mod plays were for first edition were $45. And now I think the light play first editions are up around $7 or $8 more. They're $63. And the mod plays are also $59. So the mod plays are actually more than I paid for this. but to me, it still is the principle. Like I wouldn't personally spend 59 on a moderately played one of these. So I think after the discount, it's going to end up being 45, which is where I'd feel comfortable, because that's where it was when I bought this card. And, you know, of course, things can fluctuate. So yeah, like whereas I would spend the extra $6 or $7 that it's gone up now for a light play, I wouldn't spend, you know, only 6 or 7 less for a mod play. It just seems not really worth it. But overall, I'm happy with the card. I don't know if I'll ever sell it at this point though, unless it's in person where I can show people and then agree to a price, because even if I list this for moderately played, I kind of feel like someone might, you know, not be, whereas I think maybe moderately played is fair because there's no edge wear. It's just that, you know, problem at the top. I don't know that everybody's going to be happy with that. Some people might consider this damage for sure. So I would only sell it if I could sell it in person and come to an agreement. Otherwise, what you end up doing is you send a card to somebody and they're like, hey, this is damaged. And then you have to deal with that, even if you don't necessarily agree. But yeah, I'd rather be safe than sorry. And I also don't want to make any customers mad. I definitely want them to have a good experience shopping with me. But next is a ultra rare Magician Souls first edition. I ordered it as light play, but it did come pretty minty. As far as I can tell, the only issue with it is it has slightly a little bit of warping, but it's not bad, and it's definitely fixable with, you know, just kind of putting it under a book or something. That's, you know, to be expected with a lot of cards that are a couple of years old. I'd still consider this mint. It's pretty good. There's no edge wear or anything. And I have investigated it pretty thoroughly under the light and couldn't find any sort of bends or pressure dings. So pretty happy with that one overall. But yeah, that's really all I got in the mail today. I'm trying to think if there was like anything else that I picked up in the last couple of days that would be worth showing, but I don't think that there is. Oh yeah, I guess I can go ahead and get, so Thatcher will be winning all of these. And I will go ahead and get those, you know, ready to ship for you as soon as you can give me that address. Just let me know too, like if you do live like say in the UK or somewhere overseas, what I typically do, I've said this before, is that I usually just send a PayPal for the value of the cards, because I would end up paying like $40 to $50 at least to ship these. So it just doesn't seem worth it. I would rather just give you the money and you can buy exactly what you want. And we don't have to worry about the ridiculous shipping. But yeah, that's what we'll do. That's what we have done, and that's what we'll probably continue to do for the foreseeable future. Other than that, actually, I do want to look and see, because I feel like I have picked up other stuff in the last couple of days that I do want to show. I just can't remember what it was for the life of me. Oh well, I can't remember, so I'm not gonna just waste time. But I guess with that aside, let's go ahead and get into the market watch. I'm gonna switch back. Oh, and I just remembered another card that I want to cover, and it is Ultimate Rare. I just had it out last night. I've already forgot it. It's a weird name, but it's super memorable card, so you'll know it as soon as I say it. What is it? Like Spreader Zombie. I don't know why I can never think of it. I always want to say Doom King something, but I know that's not it. But there is a Doom King card out there, so that's probably why. So first I wanted to talk about Numeron Network. This did get a reprint as a rare, but right now these are going for, I'm going to refresh, but these are like 87 cents. And possibly one of the better budget decks that you could really play right now. And the reason why is you can play like so many hand traps. Because this deck is just like what you need as far as like cards is so small that you can play a ton of like traps. a ton of hand traps, or just really any power cards. You could even play, no, you can't play Adventure. I'm trying to think what else you could play with this. The only problem is you can't play like other engines that special summon cards, really. It just doesn't really work too well. But because basically whenever you use this, you're going to get locked into only using one extra summon after you summoned your 4 materials. But a lot of times what I'll do is I'll play like Megaclops, Zeus, of course, and then I'll also play Appaloosa. And if I'm going second, then I try to set up an OTK play, which basically all you have to do is like Dark Ruler them or Droplets them, and then just start firing over their monsters, and you're going to win for sure, as long as they don't have any back row like disruptions, which is not too typical. But basically, if I'm going first, I'll go into a 4 material Appaloosa and set up like Solemn Strikes and stuff like in the back row, and then also have a couple of hand traps in hand. If I'm going second, then I go for that OTK, or I go into Megaclops, just kind of depending on what deck you're playing. Because some decks, like, they just can't deal with Megaclops whatsoever. So sometimes that's the smartest thing to do, is get Megaclops on the field. My favorite version of this deck, and I guess you could still play it now, is like I played Zodiac in here. And the reason I liked it so much is because you could go into a Trident at a certain point. I can't remember if you can do that first turn or not. Oh yeah, I remember why. It's if you went first, or you didn't open your Numeron stuff and you just had your Zodiac stuff, you could make 3 Xyz monsters to go into Megaclops, and then you could use Megaclops effect to get your Trident back from the graveyard, which is just super strong. But that option is no longer available to you. However, you could still play a small Zodiac package in here just for a sense of removal, but honestly, I don't know that it would really be worth it. I think I'd rather just play this more pure. You could also do stuff like play like a control deck variant of this. Like you could play Amazement, Altergeist, not really. I just don't think that that's really going to be the best. Eldlik, you can for sure. I'm trying to think what else. I mean, a lot of control decks, anything that doesn't need to summon itself on the first turn. But honestly, surprised that this is like not seen as much play recently, just because, I mean, with Eldlik, you could probably make some pretty insane combos. I guess DPE is just so powerful that people don't really care about making a 4 material Appaloosa anymore. But you also have the draw card, Memories of Hope. And if you draw that and like your Numeron Network, you get to draw like 3 cards or 3 or 4 cards. It's insane. But yeah, I guess that's pretty much all for that. I would just say pick these up because they're like $1. These were $30, $35 when they came out, and then they dropped like 5 to 7 for a long time. But these did see quite a bit of play for a long time. Like I always saw Numeron like topping different like events from the remote duels, like here and there. Like this deck is still a pretty strong deck, really. But moving, and like you can get all the secret rare, like highest rarity stuff, and like you could probably build like the core of this deck for probably $10, $10 to $12. Like it's ridiculous. And also, this is one of my favorite secret rares. I just really like the colors. It's got kind of the similar color vibe to like Yatagarasu, which is also my favorite secret rare. I just think it looks really good. I like anything like any red or purple secret rares look really good to me. And if it's like a combination, that's just like to me the best looking secret rares. Moving on is Kagame. We have the secret rare here for, it says $262, but I think you can actually get them for like around $1.25 to $1.50. These were $10 to $12 for a long time before it got a super rare reprint, and the commons were like $6 or $7. So this is not a bad card to pick up. Like, yeah, you can get a light play first edition for $1.30. And then that bottoms out to $2.25, and then a near mint is going for $2.30, which is really, really good because I paid $7.50 for each one of mine. I have 3 copies, and there's no way I would sell mine for this price. It's ridiculous. These look really good, and it's just a really, really good card. especially for Phantom Knights. It's less good now, but it's still good and it's still needed. If Brave Token ever gets hit and Phantom Knights do go back to the traditional Burning Abyss style, like PK Fire, then this will definitely be back as a 3 of in that 2 or 3 of in that deck. I just think this card's really, really good. And generic, like there's like the 3-axis deck. I don't know if that's playing this either, but I can't imagine like playing a level 3 spam deck and not having this, because all you need to do is normal summon a level 3 monster. But it does have a super rare OTS print as well. If you want to get a couple of those, that's not bad either. Since I got the infinite permanents, we will just go over the prices. I will have to refresh it because I did pull this up yesterday. I was just too tired yesterday. I had to do my taxes, and so I just couldn't do a video yesterday, unfortunately. Yeah, so like I said, moderately played first edition is $60, which is crazy. But then light play has come down a little bit. It's around 61 to 62 here. And that's a play set, actually. If you want to grab a play set of this, it'd be great to grab. But other than that, it goes up to 65. I don't know where near mints are, but probably like 70 to 75, 70. That's not bad either. This is locked under an ultimate rare, unfortunately. But if you've learned your lesson with the Ghost Girls or any of those other hand traps like Droll and Lockbird, this does not have any printings. And the ultimate rare might even just cap out at $300 like Droll and Lockbird does, but this could easily be as much as like Ash Blossom and Ghost Ogre. I mean, it already is up there, but it could definitely be more expensive for sure. I mean, if you look at Ghost Ogre, I'm pretty sure the light play first edition is $120. So this is going to be one of those hand traps that's always around. And Konami doesn't really like printing this card that much comparatively to some of the other hand traps. But I think it's going to be decent soon. Again, it's not really the greatest right now. I still think Droplet's the best. And by the way, I'm not going to go over Droplet on here, but if you were wondering what the prices are going for, I can tell you that Brothers of Legend is going for $89.99 for the most part, from what I can see, maybe down to $85 if you're lucky, if you get a good listing. But you're not really lucky because that's not the version you should be getting, because the original print secret rares are now down to $99, which is really good. That's the lowest it's been in a long time, probably since the release. I think during the release it was worth like 75 to 85 for a few weeks before it just went up past 100 and never really came back down. And the other thing to remember about Forbidden Droplets, yes, it's getting a reprint in the Megatons in September, but if you want to play competitively between now and then, you need Forbidden Droplets, so you're going to have to shell it out. And people will. It's just like a perfect example is if you look at Aliber, like it crashed to 60 when the reprint got announced, but then people realized the reprint's not going to be here for 2 weeks. Like people can't wait 2 weeks, so they bought it back out to 130. I just completely skipped this card. So Cosmo Tin Can, the original print, ultra rare from Breakers of Shadow, Unlimb going for 85 cents, and light play first edition going for $1, and then likewise about $1.10 for the first edition near mint. I was kind of thinking about this yesterday, but I think Cosmos are just a really good deck to have around, or at least to have some of the best cards laying around. I think it's a good cheap, cool collectible deck to have. I think it's like kind of a favorite of a lot of people. I unfortunately wasn't around during this time, but I did some testing with it and it's pretty fun. Is it tier 1? No. Is it tier 2? No. But is it, a casual fun deck that can be competitive? Like it can compete, like it's still going to give your opponent a rough time in most cases if you're a good Cosmo player. Because the thing is it's not the easiest deck to play. You really do have to strategize, but it's a really fun deck, honestly, and you should try it out online. But this is really cheap, and this is usually played as 2 or 3 copies. It did get reprinted in Ghosts from the Past, and it's around the same price, like 45 cents. But anything under $1 to me is pretty much the same. But if you look at Cosmo, there's actually some good value in some of these cards, and some of them are going up. And one example of that would be Cosmo Farm Girl, which is a lot. I don't know. I saw a deck profile last night playing at 1, but I think it's proper to play this at 2. For one thing, it's like it's just, well, I guess for emergency teleport, your best target is probably 10 can most of the time, but this can be a good target as well. And then the other thing is you have emergency teleport, like I just said, back to 3, which like is really good in this deck because they're all psychic. Well, the small ones are all the level 4 and lower, I believe, are psychic. Yeah, all the small ones are psychic, and all of the level 8 or level 6 and higher are like machine type. Except for Cosmo Dark Witch, I think it's called. What is it called? Cosmo Dark Lady, that's what it is. Oh no, she's also a psychic, so I guess it's kind of just all over the place, but Cosmo Dark Witch is actually my favorite one. But if you had to pick some cards to get out of this deck to hold on to, I think the original print Cosmo Farm Girl at $5 to $6 is really good if you get the first edition. Same goes for Cosmo Strawman. And this is one of those rare cases that I actually like the gold secret rare about just as much. Not for investment wise, but I think that for whatever reason, these two just look really good in person. I have seen them in person, and I don't know, the colors just work well with each other. They kind of have like these gold undertones, and I don't know, it just looks good as a gold secret rare for whatever reason, which is weird because there's not many gold secret rares that I like whatsoever, except for Beatrice. I will always like Beatrice. But Cosmo Forerunner, Gold Secret Rare, trash. Dark Destroyer, trash. Like these all look terrible, but for some reason, these two look good. There is one other I think that I really like. It's not Good Witch. I actually like Good Witch better as a super rare. I think it's the one that was on the second page here. Wicked Witch. This because this also has like those gold undertones in the card. I just think it looks really good as well. Cosmo Dark Lady is really, really cheap right now too. It's a insanely good looking secret rare. I will be picking up. You only need to play 1 in your deck, but you could play 2. It's basically you pay 800 life points to negate a spell or trap, which is really, really good. Anytime you can negate anything on the field is good. Usually destruction. I don't care about destruction negates, but if you can negate a special summon, you can negate spell and traps, and you can negate monster effects. Those are top 3 for me for sure. Cosmojo also really good. You basically destroy one Cosmo card on your side of the field, and then you can banish one. I think it's one monster your opponent controls, pretty sure, but really good to banish anytime you can. Has reprints and goes from the past as well. Super cheap if you want. The secret rares to me, they look really, really good. So if you want to do that, you can. And I think the best version of Cosmo Town is probably going to be the gold secret rare. It also, I don't know why, but it also looks pretty good, even though it doesn't have really many gold undertones. But yeah, why don't you try to test this deck out and see what you think. I think it's pretty fun, especially if you have friends that like to play casual decks. I don't know. There's just something really fun about this deck, and I think it probably comes from playing pure archetypes. It feels better to play for the most part. I do get tired of like really big combos, and it is nice to play something simple yet really powerful. And I think that's probably one of the issues that we're heading for in this game is that I'm seeing more and more engines being played and decks, which I do have fun with. Don't get me wrong. But it kind of takes away the magic of playing a deck, if you will. But moving on, if this pop-up will go away. Dragon Ravine Secret Rare. These are going for $6, going up to $7. This card's really good. Anytime a card mentions Dragon, that's usually decent. And this just happens to be a Foolish Burial for Dragon-type monsters. But if you're also playing Dragonities, a lot of people do love Dragonity. Actually, you can add a level 4 large Dragonity monster from your deck to your hand. And this is the highest rarity for sure. But I think that there are some other decent versions. No, there's really only one, and that's going to be the super rare from Astral Pack 7. You can grab either one of these, but if you want to spend an extra $1 or two, the secret rares look really good, and I think is going to hold your value the best over time. But Astral Pack super rares always impress me with how much they can go up, so you can keep that in mind too. Mystic Fighters I would stay away from, especially since it's like basically the same price as Astral Pack. In commons, like these are $1 pluses, so why would you mess with those when you have the Astral Pack super rare for about around the same price? Next is Legendary Duelist Season 2. If you didn't know, like a lot of these Legendary Duelist sets flop, not like the typical Legendary Duelists, like 36 pack ones. Those do good a lot of times, not every time, but a lot of times they do. But these like little box sets that are like basically the reprints of Legendary Duelist sets are usually terrible. But for whatever reason, this one was pretty decent actually. And these boxes usually, or these display boxes usually go for $100 for these sets typically, to about 120, and these are going for 175, and there's only 5 listings. Should you pick that up? Probably not. I wouldn't pick those up, but there are some good singles in here. Bingo Machine Go actually was up to $35 a couple of days ago for the secret rare. It's back down now towards like 25. But honestly, it's one of those cards where I have a hard time deciding whether you should get the ultra rare or secret rare. I am on team, first print, first edition, but the secret rare looks really, really good. And I actually had a couple of these that I did sell because I bought these for like $6, $7 a piece and then sold them for like 20. I'm happy with that because I'm never going to play Blue Eyes, to be honest. It was more just something I had in my collection. But besides that, Blue Eyes Abyss Dragons also like $36. This card was like 15 to 17 on release and bottomed out towards like 12 to 15. And then this is what really surprises me is the common Harpies Featherstorm is $6, which is crazy to me because it's almost the same price as the Hollow Prince. But other than that, there's some other really good cards to keep an eye on here. The ultra rare Blue Eyes Alternative White Dragon, I would stay away from that and just get the secret rare movie pack version because it is like maybe $4 or $5 more, but it's definitely worth it to upgrade to that first printing. And the secret rare just looks really good. Galaxy Eyes Afterglow Dragon is pretty good at $9 as well. You are going to struggle to find Galaxy players that would want to buy this, but I do think over time people will want this. I just don't think it's gonna increase in value as fast as some of the other cards. Like Harpy Perfumer to me is a better card to pick up out of the two, just because a lot of people do like Harpies. I don't think this has a lost art reprint, but hopefully it will one day. But the secret rare looks really good, and those are still a little bit cheaper. They have been around this price for a long time now. Red Rose Dragon, I mean, it's a little expensive for what it is, but I get it. It's played as a 3-of in a meta deck. Moving on, really any of these Blue Eyes secret rare cards are good to get. I would stay away from these ultra rare alternative dragons, though. I will say that. Stay away from those. Photon Orbital is like probably one of my favorite cards out of this set, just because this is one of my favorite characters from that season of Yu-Gi-Oh! And it just looks really good as a secret rare, and it's really cheap too. Garden Rose Maiden also really good for $5.50. This card's insane with the combos that you can get off with it. Being able to add your Black Rose Garden, and then also being able to banish this from your graveyard to like bring back your Crystal Wing Synchro. It's just really, really good. Super Dreadnought also really good. You play an Eldlik, like I've showed you those combos, but just really good secret rare. And I think it's better. This is the best version to have of this card, honestly. But yeah, Urgent Schedule is also pretty decent as well. But other than that, that's really everything that I would pull your attention to out of the set. But it is holding pretty good value. Next is I was just going to kind of look over Harpies Featherstorm. The ultra rare from Duel Saga is around $9 to $10, which I think is fair. It looks really good in the highest rarity version, in my opinion. The super rare from Sisters of the Rose. I did have one of these, or actually I think I still do. Let me look real quick. I'm having trouble picking them all up. I know I have the ultra rare. So this is what the ultra rare looks like. Super clean. Then I think I might have a super rare. Yeah, I do. So here's the first edition super rare, which I also think is not a bad version to have because it is from Sisters of the Rose, which was pretty popular. Or it wasn't really that popular. It just became popular over time. I think if I remember correctly, I have 2 of the ultra rares. Yep. So I have 2 of the ultra rares, and then see how that looks. The Duelist Saga. It's just super special, and they haven't really done. They haven't done Duelist Saga ultra rares ever since they released that set, and hopefully they will again sometime. I think a Duelist Saga type set would be a good set for them to release. But yep, it's just crazy to me that the commons are $6 when you can get a holo for a couple of dollars more. I did open season 2, so I did dig these out of my bulk and sell them, and then ended up getting the ultra rares because I already had one super rare. But yeah, that's all I really had to say about that card. I do want to, now that we can get rid of this, I want to go look at, and I've already forgot it again, Plague Spreader. This is up quite a bit in value. I saw it on, whose market watch did I see this on? I can picture his face. Oh, Team Sakurasao. He was going over this and said that it, or I just saw the price while I was just doing some dishes and cleaning up the kitchen, and just happened to walk by the phone and saw that he was going over this card and couldn't believe that it was up to $57 for a light play unlimited. I actually do have one of these that I bought a year ago for $25. And that was on TCG Player. That wasn't even like a good deal that I got from somebody at locals. These just were really cheap at the time. And this card was like really, really expensive when it was seen play, like in Adamantipator and some of those synchro decks. But here's what it looks like in person. That's too far that way. The clear doesn't ruin it too bad. Does look really good. This one's in pretty good condition too. Mine's like very, very lightly played. It was supposed to come near mint, but it was just slightly not near mint. But these are really old, so I understand. I'm a little bit more lenient with like really old cards. But I'm considering selling mine, but I might just hold it and see what happens. But it's definitely getting low on listings. The first editions are up quite a bit as well, but near mints are pretty much $70. And then we'll see what first editions are, but probably like $300. Mod play 165, and then light play first editions 250. I remember these being like 120, or like no, maybe 150 last year when I bought mine, and now they're at 300. And I can't remember if I've talked about this card before, but I'm sure I have at some point. I honestly don't know that you should pick it up for this price. I just kind of feel like it's going to sit at this price for a long time. Maybe the first edition, if you could actually like get a real like near mint, would be worth it. But I don't know. Unlimited to me seems like, I mean, 58, while it's not high for this card, especially from, you know, being from this set and being such a powerful card, I just don't know that it's going to see play, which it really needs to kind of see play for it to see exponential growth. It might just kind of slowly inch up, but I don't think it's the worst buy if you really wanted one. Next is Contact C, super rare. I had told people to grab these around the $2 mark, and they did spike up quite a bit, like towards 4 to 5. I ended up selling one play set for $6 a piece when I bought them for like under $2, and I still have a personal play set, but I'm hoping these will continue to fall back down towards like the $2.50 to $3 mark, and I would like to pick up more. It is like $3.45, but I think it might come down a little bit cheaper as long as it's not seeing play. But with that in mind, this will spike up to crazy numbers if this starts seeing play in the future. And by crazy, not like $100, but like something like 15 to 18 would be reasonable, especially since this is the only holo version. It's only got 2 other commons, and those commons were worth $5 to $8 when they were seeing play. And that was recent. That was pretty recently. I wasn't too long ago. Crossout Designator, also a card I saw moving up. I know we had talked about this plenty of times at the 20 or the like the $29 to $32 range. Or I think even maybe down to like 27 or 28 it was at one point. But these have been seeing play and slowly but surely moving up. I said, make sure you grab these. It didn't have to be a hurry, but just whenever you could at the, below the 30 mark, because it's pretty much destined to go up. Like it's going to see play at some point when hand traps are really prevalent. And it's back up towards 39. And probably will be 40 soon. It's selling. They're selling a lot of copies online right now. It's down to 105 listings. And yeah, I just wouldn't be surprised if this card continues to go up in price. I think it probably won't go back up towards its release price of 100, but you never know. Because, look at Aliber. But this card's definitely, it's harder to pull than Aliber probably, but it's not that hard to pull. I think I got on average like, I guess on average 3.5 of these every case that I opened, because I got 3 in one case and 4 in the other. So, and I only opened 2 cases. So I guess that's 3.5 per case, which Dragoon was like 1 per case, which is kind of why that's so expensive. But I think maybe they adjusted this because Dragoon's always going to be a 1 of, whereas this is going to be played as a 3 of. So it makes sense for you to pull 3 times as many. I do think that that was nice of them to not make this 1 per case, where this would be expensive out of the get-go, which it still was, but that was all hype driven. But yeah, even at this price, not too bad. I would maybe wait and see if it cools off a little bit, but don't let it go past 40. I definitely don't think you should do that either. Moving on, Ghost Spell is like, I told you to get these because I knew people would start turning their attention towards this, especially with this being able to like stop branded fusion. But even what I would consider the lowest rarity version, being the Dual Devastator ultra rare alternative print, is now $10 at the lowest, and then $12. And this card was $3 to $3.50 for the longest time. And before then, like this card was, I picked up these for like $1 or like 80 cents to $1, like when this set was like a few months old. Not a few months old, probably old, maybe a year old. It was in 2019 is when I got them. Either 2019 or the beginning of 2020, but it doesn't matter. Other than that, that's all I have for you. I'm trying to think if there's anything else that I wanted to say before I go. Yeah, I guess just as a reminder, if you missed the beginning of the video, Thatch, you did win, and all you need to do is send me your mailing address. I left you a comment with my email address. Yeah, just thanks for watching, and hopefully you'll tune in later this week when I get to some more content. Oh yeah, I did remember one thing. So I was syncing with the Fallen of Albat structure deck. I know we did a deck profile, but I'm trying to figure out some, I guess like some unique content that I'm sure somebody does it, but I think I have seen it before, but I don't think anybody's doing it currently. I kind of want to take those 3 structure decks and say start with a budget of maybe like, I want to say like $10 a week, and try to slowly but surely add on to the deck and try to make it a better deck. And maybe like start with what I have now, like kind of like the base deck with nothing that's not in the structure deck, and then maybe play a couple of games online and then try to slowly build it. Like say like the first week I have a budget of $10, and then I add 2 super volleys. Well, then I don't really have a target. That was a problem. So maybe I would add like a super poly and then one target, and then slowly kind of build my way up to a better deck, or maybe even start off with a bigger budget, like $20 a week, which is still really expensive though. That's the problem. But then alternatively, what I could also do is be like, okay, let's take 3 structure decks and then add $50 and what's the best I can do for $50, and not really be a series. Because I do think a series, people might get bored of that. I feel like that would be not the best. I kind of feel like just doing the structure deck with, I wouldn't redo the structure deck per se. I would just say, hey, go back and look at my video. We're gonna incorporate $50 of investment into this deck by taking these cards out, and we're gonna replace them with these. I kind of did go over some alternatives that you could play to make the deck better in the original deck profile, but I think that could be interesting. I could just stick with market watches and regular deck profiles too. It doesn't matter to me, whatever y'all want to do. But if you have any good ideas or something that you would like to see, it doesn't really matter what it is. I'll give it a shot. But yeah, thanks for watching, and I will catch you guys later.